Good morning, you guys, or should I say good afternoon, even though whatever time, good morning, evening, whatever time you're watching this, or good night. You might be watching this before bed. Just realize that. Crazy me. But I'm telling you today the story of why I had to go for oral surgery. It's a long story, so bear with me, you guys. Prepare to listen or take it in parts, whatever, but it is going to be a long video. Um, and it will be a lot of me kind of slowing down and thinking, so please bear with me. So, the story that I'm about to tell, um, I just, I'm very cautious about it because it's real personal and it is a lot of me venting and my personal opinions. So, he has another side of the story. And other people have other sides of the story about it as well. I get that. But my story is to basically try to help it and try to prevent it maybe in some way for it to happen again. And it's kind of a very interesting story because it has lots of pieces in it. And some of the pieces, it's just funny. Some of the because I look at my life as a puzzle piece, a big, huge puzzle that I have to put together. So I'm going to be giving you a big chunk today of my life or my past or what I have been dealing with before I started this. And how I started to get my voice, I guess. One of the stories of of who I am and what makes me me, and what makes my life my life, and that what God has given me to share, and I do this in His name and through His will and not mine, and I really strongly believe that everything that I believe and I try to claim it in His name, in Jesus' precious name, and not mine. Because I do this for His glory, not for mine, and I need to make sure that um, I'm not anybody special. I'm just a person like you that just kind of pays attention a little bit more and feels led to pay it forward in some way, and maybe so. I guess I'm a teacher, in some way. And I'll tell that story a little later too. So just trust me that in time I'll tell all the stories. If you want to know more, it's not a way. It's not a way to keep you in or way keep you to. It's just when I feel led to. So um, when I have more clarity or when I feel led to, that's when I will share my life or a piece with you guys. So this is going to be one of my stories that is very touchy, and my new word lately is dicey because there's many working parts to it. So you would kind of like a working clock that's always never stops. But so I like to ramble, especially when I'm nervous and when I'm stalling. You'll find that too. Um, but yeah, so I do this all for him, and like I said, like I smoke, I do smoke pot. So but I didn't start smoking until I was 30. I need to make sure that I didn't try it until I was 30, and I'm not a pill popper. I only take what's prescribed to me, and even then, I do a low doses of it. I'm getting really anxiety, so I need to calm down. So my theory is, so what happened to me? I am, and I'm proud that I come from Peguis because my dad is native. And I didn't really know my dad, but I still embrace my native side of me. I was given, I was very blessed by my ancestors um, for instilling my life and the blessings that they fought for me. I do acknowledge. So I do embrace my native teaching. So I do, because I personally believe that it's all part of who you are. And there's all reasons, and God will show them to you in time. Sorry, my cat came down because he's out the pot. I joke. I'm sorry, you guys. I know I joke for my real Christian fans, but please understand this is me, and I'm just being raw. It's me in my living room, and for you guys who really get the chance to know me, this is who I am, and this is who God made me, and I'm not perfect, and I don't pretend to be perfect. I am a sinner, but I believe that I'm covered under the blood of Jesus, and I need to make sure that as contradicting as some of my stuff it is backed up by the belief that Jesus really died on the cross for me, and I am covered. But also as a duty, I need to pay for my teachings, I guess, and my wisdom and my understanding of things. I always said that I always had this opportunity that I would write a book, but I become to realize that with all my little writings, me didn't really come out like who I was, what I was trying to leave behind, and because I suck at spelling and at reading. I suck really badly. I get a lot of anxiety when it comes to school, but I really encourage, and I do strongly encourage education, because as hard as some of it is, and as hard as like life is and bullying, it does shape you. But don't get me wrong, I do not promote bullying in any way, shape, or form. I'm a big advocate for that. I'm a big advocate for, you have a voice and you use it, and you shouldn't be judged on that. And it's for God to judge, not for you, and that's what bullying is. It's a form of judgment. But society had accepted it. Like I said, my personal views, my personal opinions, and me venting. But yeah, so I am a native. So I got blessed. I have all my treaty rights. I'm from Peguis. My dad had... I was just very, very blessed before all these changes and all these rules and all these exceptions. And I get it, but at the same time, thank you to my ancestors, and thank you for those people that continue the fight for my rights. I do support you in prayer, and ultimately His will be done in that. But what the Lord wants us to keep, the Lord will give us to keep. And nobody can take that away in Jesus' name. Yeah, I'll stop. Okay, so that's part of, the reason why I'm saying that's part of my story, okay? So, as an Aboriginal and as a full treaty status, and because of I am blessed from my ancestors of this, I get free dental care to a point. But so I take advantage of it. I do, of the opportunities that were given to me, and I try to take care of my teeth. Like, these are all my teeth that I still have left. They're all original teeth. I do not have any as of yet, any partials or dentures. These are really my teeth. And why I say this, and with all due respect, I love my family, but my family freaking knows. I love them, but I'm damned. I'm determined to take care of my teeth and make sure that I still have them because I know the importance of teeth, and so I do try my very best to take care of my teeth, but I don't go to the extent of obsessing over it. Even though I have OCD, my teeth I didn't obsess over. As long as I did it within what I was able to do. And I do have OCD, so at points of my parts of my life, um, I haven't been the best patient of like keeping appointments. Um, so I have missed a lot without calling. So I know how important that is. I know it now. I do understand it, but that still does not excuse the fact that what was done to me and what has happened and how many times, and I'm starting to see that I'm not the first person that this has happened to. And some with dental care and stuff like that. So even though I have a lot of feelings and I have had teeth removed, what I do have left are salvageable, I guess what you would say. So I get a lot. I'm very blessed, and I thank you, and I do appreciate the gift that you have left me, and I thank you for them. And so I've been going to this dentist for a while, and before I went to him, got I had fillings, but not so many. But I did have my 4 wisdom teeth removed. One of them surgically removed, and 2 of them came out good. One of them was still underneath, so they had to slice it and pull it, and the other one broke. So, with that being said, okay, and then and I didn't ask for my teeth back then. I didn't ask for my wisdom. I didn't even know, but I come to learn that I can ask for my teeth, and for some fricked up reason, but now I come to know, kind of, I don't know, it's kind of morbid, I guess, what people would say, why would you want teeth? And I just said, well, they're a part of me, so why wouldn't I want them? Like, if I could have them, like, it is a part of me, maybe I want to bury them with me one day, I don't know. Um, I just do things, and sometimes I don't question, I just do them, and it makes sense later why I do them. So what happened was, uh, I've missed a point, and then I went to this other dentist, and he did some work, and I go for cleanings, not as faithfully as they would want me to, but I do go, um, and and then I had a tooth up here that I don't know what happened, but it was so he pulled it, and he tried to pull it, but the freezing just would not take, and he still proceeded to pull it, and then I was in so much pain that when he pulled it, um, when I got another dentist to actually look into it, so I was kind of bouncing around. So that's how I learned that if, like, because he screwed up and I did not want to go back to him, but because he paid for, like, his treaty paid for it, um, they could not, even though he what may have screwed up or whatnot, they both can't charge for the same thing, from what my understanding was, which I get, um, because who's to say, unless I personally go there and say, yeah, I did this and I did that, but so whatever. But then I ended up going to this dentist. I won't say his name right now, even though I feel compelled to, just because it's not the right time. Um, or or maybe I just don't want to, because I know how dicey that can get, and I just don't want to get into that right now. Um, so but I will. So to go on with my story, so when all was said and done and I was fine, I went and I sought out a new dentist, and I wanted one that was in walking distance because I know how money situations are, and I want something that in walking distance where I can walk to and try my darndest to try to keep these appointments when my mental health was good. Um, so I started going to him, and he had a different way of working, and you know what, it worked for me. So I understand, and I worked with it, or I tried to work with it, and but I still missed, and this kind of went on for years. So I do understand his frustration, but that still doesn't give you the right to do what you did. um just letting you know that. So, how the story of my dentist, which I still have stitches, but they're coming out, and I did get a little bruising here. Not so much, but it's still bruising. So it wasn't really bad. It was just yellow and a little discolored. So you could see it, but you can't really see it. So what happened was, he's done a lot of work. He's pulled, he has pulled one tooth before and another tooth, I believe. So he has pulled two other teeth. And I asked to keep them, so I got those teeth. Um, Somewhere in my house, which I won't show you because whatever. And then the other, because that's just a little gross, but yeah, who wants to see that? But if you really want to, I'll do it in another video, just not this one. And so what has happened was I had a chipped tooth in the back. That kind of, it wasn't a big chip, but it was a little chip, and so that chip, and every time I would feel in my mouth, I would feel that rigid. And if anybody, and I'm pretty sure that everybody has experienced that. So, and if you haven't, very good for you. I'm really proud of you. Um, so. Sorry, getting ahead of myself and just trying to come back. So I went and I had this, and I had another one back there. So I originally made the appointment to get that fixed. But then a few days beforehand, I really started to get a lot of discomfort in this area. And so I said, well, instead of that, I said, I really have more of a pain. Like, this is just an irritation, but this is a pain, I said. And so he looked in my mouth, and I think he took x-rays. I can't really remember that part, but I believe he did. And I have it all written down. Um, so And then he says, well, I can't really see something. I can't really see anything. And then he started poking around, and then he just went judged by my reaction. And I said, okay, like, and then he says, well, that one had a root canal in it. I don't know where this pain should be coming from. I need to plug him in. Sorry. Sorry. I know. Um, I'm very apologetic. So, to go on with my story. There we go. I guess somebody doesn't want. Thank you. The story is going to be told. It's 20 minutes in. Okay, so yeah, I ramble on a lot of times. So, what has happened in the story was, so I went there, and he went and he took X-rays, and he told me that, well, I can't see anything, but if you're getting a lot of pain, you had a root canal on that tooth before, so it's probably just needs to pull it. So I said, okay, because I'm trusting him, because I'm not a dentist, right? So, um, so he went and pulled it, and then he says, well, basically, oh, but when he was pulling it out, it broke, but also it was very busy in there, and he was very distracted. Okay, so he pulled that tooth and it ended up cracking in there and breaking. And I said, and then he says, okay, it just broke. And he had another patient waiting. And he says it's just going to take a little longer than what I thought. And I had nowhere to go because when I plan something, I make room for extra, or I try to. And because I don't like to be late or canceling, because that brings up a lot of anxiety in me, which makes a whole new round of things. But yeah, um, vicious circle. Um, so what happened was he pulled it. Then he says, "I'll be back," and he went and he dealt with another person, and then he came back to me, did some work, took an X-ray, went back to dealt with another patient. I overheard a few things that were very questionable, but I'm not gonna quote them right now. But they were very, very questionable kind of things that I listen for. But who am I to question to? Because I'm not a dentist, right? So I just kind of listen and overhear and just continue on. And so my mouth is frozen. Then he ends up doing the work, and then I end up going home, and then I still had a lot of pain there, a lot of pain, and it took about a week for it to really any pain to subside. But what happened too is after he pulled the tooth, I got a cleaning done right after this tooth was pulled. And no antibiotics, only T3s. I got no antibiotics, T3s, just got a tooth pulled, and I just got a teeth cleaning right after my tooth was pulled. So those were kind of little things, but like I said, I'm not a dentist. I don't know. But at the same time, I kind of keep these things in the back of my mind for one day, like maybe kind of things. But I kind of take notice, and I guess I observe. Like I'm an observer, so I observe a lot of things, and so what has happened is, and I went home and I looked up, and because I'm a smoker and I did have like, because I was having pain, I did smoke before the recommended time that you should stay away. Just because I was having a lot of chronic pains at the time too with other issues. So um, I kind of like put the blame on me. And I thought, oh well, like, I'll just gurgle with salt water and do what I need to do. And I looked up on YouTube what it could be, and it was dry socket, and it says it'll heal in like 14 days. So who was I to question? But I had another dentist appointment coming up because I made sure, because I needed to get that and that done. So that time came, and he looked at my mouth, and I said, yeah, I think I got a little bit of dry socket. And he says, yeah, it kind of looks like it, but it's healing up nicely. And I said, okay. And I said, I'm still getting a lot of pain. And he looked, and he took an X-ray, and he said that these two right here, the two beside it, needed root canals. And then he went and he checked my dentist, like my coverage. And it said that I was only eligible for one root canal. And I said, okay, like one root canal a year. And I'm just like, well, that's kind of weird considering, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, what are my options? Because I have no money. Like, I am on disability, and what I do get on the side, unfortunately, through cash or through, yeah, I'm not going to go into details there. Um, but, because, yeah, anyways, um, just doesn't need to be told right now. So I have no money in my bank. And the way the government is designed, I understand the purpose of it, but at the same time, I understand all its flaws because I live in it. Um, so I understand part of the government part of it, but at the same time, I don't believe and stand for a lot of what the government does, because I see all sides of the coin, not just the left, right side. I'm like, basically, if I was like, if you can see it, there was a movie, I can't remember, and they were talking about two sides of a coin. There's only two sides of a coin, or also the image that's coming to my head is a quarter spinning, because I saw it on a movie, spinning, like thrown in the air and spinning, and it stopped right on its side. It was neither heads nor tails. And so what does that mean? It's, you throw it again, and then what, the best 2 out of 3? But what happens if it keeps on doing that? And so that kind of got me questioning, and I got to, so I'm like, I guess both sides of the fence, but I did choose a side of the fence, and that is for the Lord. But I still see over, and I acknowledge what's on the other side, and I don't envy that other side. I want to rescue people from that side, or the other ones that are walking that line, then maybe I can encourage them to go to what I believe is what we were all made and designed for, and that's we're all God's children. Touchy, because that's what I believe and that's what I stand for, and it's dear to my heart. It really is dear to my heart, and it's a big piece of me. So trust me that is a big, important piece of how I see things and my point of views of things. And part of what I do and why I do in these videos. But to go on with my story, so yeah, I did have a little stacks against me, and I know that I couldn't really go to another dentist, nor could I afford to, because if I went to another dentist, they would just send me back to him anyway, so, and he's been good to me, so I thought I would give him a shot, like, and also I'm not a dentist, so I don't know, so I questioned, and I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And he says, well, we can fix one, and I said, and we can pull the other, and I said, well, or you can be in pain, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to be in pain, because, like, that's not what I'm supposed to be, and I have a lot of